Hi, everybody. This is a recording today with Michael Stenhagen and Cecilia-Hector. Michael, you are from Norway. Welcome.
Thank you so much, and thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, it's nice to invite you, and we live very near each other in Scandinavia, so it's nice to connect with people close here, because I have had people from all over the world in this channel, and today it's fun to share with someone from Norway. Yeah. So Michael, you work as a transformative coach in your country, like I do in mine, and we talked yesterday and decided to do this recording, and you wanted to talk about freedom, and that's a nice subject. Yeah, how do you see freedom, Michael?
Well, I just love that we connected yesterday, right? And we just had an open conversation, and then we're following our inclinations. Like you asked me about this, and I didn't even know that you're having this YouTube channel. So you're free to do whatever you want, right? But ideas comes along the way, as we also having a free mindset toward things, right? So for many years I've been in so many different trainings when it comes to the three principles understanding, for example, and also being free when it comes to input you get from different places and different teachers. And one thing that opened me up to that was the program with Rahini Ross last year, where I was opening up to that there's so much more input out there, instead of limiting myself on a certain path. But I like that idea in anything when it comes to freedom, not limiting ourselves in any way. Like it's easy to it was a certain period of my time where I was limiting myself as a coach. Like I was living in Portugal, and I was like, and Bali for that sake, and those two places, people were asking me to do fun stuff every day, right? So many offers to do fun stuff. But in back then, I guess that was in 2019, I was not so ready for letting go of control, right? So because I had certain ideas on the path for that particular day to be working, for example, or going to training, to going to the gym. So when people are in a set mindset, things you're kind of missing out on a lot of offers in life, and that's not the way I want to live any longer. And that's just one way of seeing freedom, because we can be free to. I think that it's easy for people to create products and services for other people that people need, when we actually living free, living more free in life, as in opposed to living restricted, like I did in Bali, and those places are not necessarily like Bali and Portugal, not kind of place you want to live restricted, right? you want to be living free and experience the jungle, going to ecstatic dance, or travel to an island without internet. You can plan for all those things, right? And say that you're going to be away from Gili Islands for 2 days. And then you say to your clients that, I'm not going to be working for 2 days because I'm going to this island. Everything is possible. But because I was so restricted, I can do it, right? But at the same time, I was at a certain point there struggling to get the right income as well, which is also not good for freedom, right? So it's many ways we can talk about freedom here. So let's do it spontaneously, like we're doing now.
Yeah, what comes to me now is that all the thoughts we believe in, it's like if we not take the thoughts so seriously, we feel more free directly.
Yeah.
And even though we care so much about how other people think about us and how we think about ourselves, and it's like a prison for us. We can't follow what we want, what we feel, because of we think about how other people think about that.
Yeah.
So I can sit here and I can sit in a beautiful place, but if I got this thinking in my head, my freedom doesn't feel free. And it's not because of where I am. It's just in the whole world, in the world, but in my head. So I feel more free when I can let go of my stressful thinking and just let it pass. Because we have all this thinking all the time, and I can get caught up in it. And
Yeah.
then it doesn't feel free. But I know now that if I can just recognize my thinking and let it be, I suddenly can feel a nicer feeling, a more freeful feeling.
That's true.
To step back from things that we are so busy in.
You know, the only thing that keeps us away from having freedom all the time, because freedom is a state of mind, right? So the only thing stopping us from having that state of mind all the time is thoughts.
Yeah.
Basically. And, you know, it's a natural state. I think it was Michael Neal that said that he has a program called Financial Freedom. It's a really good program if you're interested in money and understanding what money is and freedom is. And I just love that because it is natural. You know, it's already built into us, that space of freedom. I think that the first time I came in, that the theme came to mind was when I had this client. He really wanted to like go up and talk to girls in Oslo, right, at the bar, and he would be so disappointed if all of a sudden the girl was not talking to him anymore, because he had all these expectations, right? Because now he had the balls to go over there and talk to her, and now all of a sudden she's gone. And then I told him right there and then, it was just a catalyst conversation, you know, that spontaneous advice you can have sometimes. I just told him right out of the bat that you know that people are free to do whatever they want, right? Like that's actually the opposite of manipulation. And that that's what we want in a relationship too, right? We want to meet someone, even in a relationship, we want them to be free. And we don't want to own anyone, right? We don't want to own any situation. And then he just blew his mind, he said, right? Because he has all these programs in his mind, speaking of being restricted. he had all this training and programs on how to like talk to girls, because he'd been to this course somewhere about how to talk to girls. And all of a sudden he sees that, oh shit, that's so true. You know, we can be free to live and be and talk to anyone we want at any time. I can't decide that on anyone. So that really helped him, right? So now I think he has a different view on being with people, which I love.
Because it doesn't look like that in life when you are caught up in something. It doesn't look like you can look in another direction when you think about the girls, but you can make a shift that makes you feel better, because we can't do anything about the circumstances, but we can do something about how we relate to the circumstances.
That's right. Well said. Understanding that is key, I will say.
Yeah, like a key, like a tools to handle life easier, and not go in the negative thinking.
Don't get me wrong, like I love the moment when I'm in front of someone, you know, and having a deep conversation. But I know that at any point anyone else can come in and interrupt. That one thing is can happen. Another thing can happen, that the person saying, you know, I have to actually do this, was lovely, but I have to go right now because I have a disappointment in 1 hour and I have to go home and shower first. And then the third thing that can happen is that that person wants to talk to someone else. And I know that it's not that I'm on alert or anything, but I just know that I want to really be grateful for that moment. Because life is full of moments, right? With people. But it doesn't mean that me and that person is going to hang out for several hours necessarily, unless we are already having this appointment and we are good friends and we're going to spend a day together. That's a different thing. But still, even then, things can happen, right? You have all these expectations with this good friend going into a boat trip, and all of a sudden things can change, right? And like, I have to go earlier now because I have a new appointment. So I know that people get really disappointed. Expectations can really destroy a lot of things, I think, for our freedom.
And that's why we have to know that we can't be a follower to someone else. We need to stay in our own state of mind, or place, or what you call it.
Security, for example. Yeah, security.
Yeah, I must find a place in me that I can feel happiness and joy and calmness, and otherwise I go lost if I think that I can follow everyone.
Yeah, that's right.
And we often, many people do like that. I have done it myself, and sometimes I do, but not that much anymore, because I know now that I have to always look for inside for how I feel when I do things or meet people, or so I and find moments to be with myself and enjoy that.
Yeah,
because that was things that I didn't do before. If I had a quiet moment, I have to do something, phone someone or meet someone, but today I can see that those moments makes me rest, so I get full of more energy
Yeah.
to go on with life again more. It's like you fill up the bottle with energy.
Yeah, that's true. It's more rich, right?
But if you're not used to be with yourself and you don't feel free, you don't feel that freedom inside. It's like, oh, I don't want to be with myself and my thoughts. My thoughts are just, and it's like in the night when, and I can feel that sometimes. I still feel that sometimes when I have a busy thinking, I go to sleep, and then in a quiet moment, it feels like a prison, because the thoughts is just like this. The difference is that I know now that it is thoughts, and thoughts are moving by itself. So I don't need to go up and react on it or do something about it.
It's transient, you know. A thought is transient,
Yeah.
and our experience of life is transient too. So life is full of creative, the creative process, the creative process of life. So an example of that, you know, I go to a party, and in my mind is set to be there. But if I let the creative process come in, I might want to do something else during those hours. But I think that we tend to forget that nothing is really have to be set, right? It doesn't have to be decided. It's just our conditioning, like our patterns telling us to stay at the party the whole evening. Although it's nice, you know, for the host, right? It's nice and it's good friends. That's a different thing, right? But the point is not to be in our conditioning and see that it's we are not our conditioning. That's what I mean.
No. But have you felt earlier in life, I think I thought I read you had a lot of worries or anxious thoughts before, when you were younger, or?
Yes, I had.
Yeah. Did you feel like you were in a what do you call it? Castle? No?
Oh, in
Like a prison,
Yeah.
like a bird in
Yeah, well, I don't know, like, did we talk about this yesterday, or is this new?
Yeah, this is new. We didn't
This
talk
new.
about it yesterday,
Yeah.
but I thought I read it that you had early on and just thoughts.
Yeah, you probably read that somewhere. Definitely, you know, I did have experienced anxiety, for example. I remember when I was going to the mentorship program with George and Lina Pransky, I was already picturing renting a car in the States a month before it happened. And just that made me anxious. It wouldn't make me anxious today because I'm a different man today. In 2015, that's like 8 years ago, that made me really anxious. To a point where they noticed my anxiousness in the office of Pransky Associates. So they actually asked one of my mentee colleagues to join me from the airport. So I was renting a car still, but I had someone to sit with me to La Connor. And once I knew that weeks in advance, I relaxed. Because now I knew that I was going to drive with someone, and I wasn't going to be lost from the airport to drive me to La Connor. But fortunately, during that time, spending time with George and Linda, I got a different relationship with that anxiety. So now I live with much more freedom, because now, like, I was in Bali in January now, and I did have a few bad experiences, but they were passing. Was a couple of times where I felt totally alone in Bali, and that was like on the run to almost getting anxious. But all of a sudden, I realized that I could be with my feelings, and although I knew that from before, but I had to experience that again on a deeper level.
Mm.
So that's why I know that now I can do much more stuff. I have much more freedom to do much more stuff now, because I'm not afraid of what's gonna happen, because I know it's gonna solve itself by itself with my understanding of my state of mind.
Mm.
So I don't feel like a prison anymore. And if I did earlier, it was just moments of feeling imprisoned,
Mm.
I guess. But I did lost my apartment. I lost my apartment under the financial crisis, and now I own a new one. But I lost it with loss. I bought the wrong apartment. The international financial crisis was in 2008, right? So that's a long time ago.
Mm.
So that's how I got into personal development. And
Mm.
that was before I got into this understanding.
Mm.
Very good experience. But yeah, I know how to have what do you call it? Financial depression.
Mm.
Did you read about that too, by the way?
No, I don't think so. I can't remember, but I really know by myself how it is to have anxious thoughts.
Yeah.
So and I know that it often feels like you are in a prison with all your with everything, and feel like no one else is having this. I'm alone. But you more and more, if you more and more can see that those thoughts are just like energy moving on, it's so much easier to just step back from it and feel this freedom we talk about.
That's right.
And yeah.
I had an insight about anxiety in professional training, and my insight was that I was feeding the rabbits. So basically, I was feeding thought with thought.
Yeah.
But before that professional training, I was running with a friend in LA, but we ran over a huge mountain, Sandstone Peak in Santa Monica. Is the highest mountain in Santa Monica. But then we didn't have any water with us, and no food, and we've been out the day before, so we had 4 hours of sleep, and we were gonna run 3,000 miles. I think it's different than European. We were gonna run at least 20,000 meters, and it was like steep terrain. But fortunately, we met one of his teachers from the UCLA, and she had an extra liter of water with her. And it was a lot of people on the trail, of course, but I had so much anxiety doing that running. Oh my goodness. And my friend, he had been walking to Mount Everest to base camp. So that little trip was no deal for him, right?
Mm.
So he was kind of my coach on that trip. And he was doing fine, but I had to stop sometimes because of my thinking. Because my thinking was taking over, right? And then he coached me a little bit, like, you're doing great, just continue doing great. And then all of a sudden I saw the parking lot. And the parking lot was probably 3,000 meters away, but I could see it with a view because we're going downwards. And when I saw the parking lot, I was becoming human again. I was Michael again. Like all the anxiety was gone, all the thoughts was gone, and I was happy, I was joking, and I had much more energy left.
And next time you do it, you have less thoughts about it.
Yeah, probably no thoughts.
Yeah, probably no thoughts, because we
Yeah.
have to step out and
Yeah.
try to do things, even if we have these thoughts, busy thoughts in our head. Don't listen to them. Don't believe in them.
I think it's also okay, like you're saying, be okay with being comfortable, being uncomfortable now. Like had anxiety earlier, but I would say no to things. I would say no to things because of the expectation of becoming anxious. But now, no. Like, if someone invited me to like live on a yacht somewhere, or well, I don't know, I'm not a big hiker, but I probably could do that as well, and because we will rise to the occasion, right? As human, we don't really know we don't really know ourselves, and until we are there.
And sometimes we need to take it step by step.
Yeah.
Like I have done. I have taken step by step, little by little, and I feel that has been good for me. You never know, but it feels in my heart like this is good for me to take small steps. And I have done a lot the last 3 years that I never thought about before in my life. So that's why I can see that it's small steps, like small babies. And it doesn't matter how big steps you take. It's just that if you can step away from those thoughts that put you in a box and tells you that you are this and this and that. You can't see that there are so much more to discover in life.
That's right. We're seeing our thoughts of limitation. And then, the thoughts of limitation moves, right? Step by step. And all of a sudden you don't have any limitations anymore. Because it will move by itself, over time. Those steps. And so another thing that I was thinking about freedom is, with freedom, I think that living is important, right? Speaking of steps. And I used to be a digital nomad in Portugal and Bali, but traveling, while you're working as a transformative coach, I'm not doing that so much now, but if I wanted to, like, I'm gonna travel now pretty soon, to Amsterdam and Portugal again. And when I do, I will make sure that I'm living while I'm working, right? Not live so restricted. And I think that is so important because it's so much more easier to get satisfied with life. And when we get satisfied by life, it's so much easier to serve people. So that's what I mean. I want to be in service to myself and service to people around me. And not hold ourselves back when it comes to an opportunity in life. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, and when we feel this freedom, we also get so nice energy, and the energy goes around in everyone.
That's right, it spreads.
It spreads, yeah. So it's really something we must come to a point or a place in ourselves that we can let this grow from the inside.
That's right.
We can't pick it up from no one else. It's here inside.
We are born with it, basically. Yeah. We can access our freedom naturally. We have a natural freedom within us.
Yeah, and we can do it right here and right now. It's no
yeah.
place to travel.
Yeah, I love that. It is is freestanding, freedom. Freestanding freedom.
So when we travel when we travel with our thoughts, it's just a movie going on.
Yeah.
A movie in the head.
Speaking about movies, like I work with coaches, right? Also because of my coach school. And it's easy to be disappointed when a potential client is saying that I can't work with you now. Because we had these expectations, right? To get this client. And but people are free to work with you or not work with you, right? People are free to do that. And knowing that, knowing that people have the freedom to do that is much easier for you. It will be the job of having fun creating clients is easier. But knowing that you're making these movies, you're making these expectations, you're making this that you are going to be okay only if you're going to work with me. If I get you as a client, I will be okay. I will be free. That's the misunderstanding, right? But knowing that, no, actually you're already okay. So if this person don't choose to work with you, it's okay, because then he or she is supposed to be working with something else, like a training, a book, or whatever that person decides to do. And knowing this, I love knowing this because it makes me free too, right? Because then it was not meant to be right now also. And yes, you can ask me then about what about money, and now we need money, but still you don't need their money. You don't need their money. It's going to work out for you and your practice. What are you going to say? Sorry.
No, I meant we are the people who wants, if they want to listen to what we point to, it's also we are also free to do that. And some people are up in the movie, and that's also something you are free to be, but then you have to suffer if you are up in this stressful thinking.
Yeah, you have to suffer because you're feeling your thinking.
Yeah, but it's a freedom to do that. No one stops you from it. You are allowed to do that if you want to. But if you can see for yourself that this is a movie going on, this is thoughts you believe in, there is a place where you can feel more free. The place we point to.
Yeah, but we can point to so many things, right?
Mm.
So people see what they see, what they're seeing.
Yeah, but both you and I know after we have looked after for a while that we are healthy. We have seen that we are healthy, and we can see that in others, even if they think they have a story that they are caught up in. We can see that there is a health behind this,
Yeah.
like you said. And it's a very big difference to look at people in that way. Because I have gone all my life meeting people that thought about me like I have some problems. And then you feel those problems, you feel those diagnoses.
Yeah, that's right.
So they make up a story, they make up a history. And I believe in what they told me. So I feel a very big freedom to not be caught up in that anymore. Because I have really see for myself that I am not broken. But we can think that we are it sometimes.
Yeah.
But I have a deeper knowing in me that says that I am not broken. And you are not broken.
Yeah, that's powerful. Of course.
Mm. And to look in that direction is freedom.
Yeah.
Even if we get caught up in thoughts all the time, we always do. That's life.
That's life. You will always get caught up.
Mm. But we're also growing. When we get caught up, we're also growing. Because we learn things.
Yeah. Being on a natural learning curve.
Mm.
That's what I call it.
Mm. So it's good to come back to this moment. And this moment is quiet and not up in the story.
Yeah.
It's just free. So Michael, do you have something more you want to say?
No,
Yeah.
I swiped through all the themes. I mentioned the client thing. I mentioned the guy that goes to girls. I don't see them, like, for me, freedom is for people to do their own choices,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
also understanding that people can do whatever they want. They have the freedom to do whatever they want, and that creates freedom for a person that knows that.
Follow yourself.
Yes, you follow yourself and understand that people most likely want different things in life. And when you can understand that, then it's easier to live your life, because then we don't have this too much expectations. So expectations just mean that we want an exchange, right? Somehow. So, and I think it's good to have not too much expectations.
No. Live life step by step, here and now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put the how we can contact you on the bio on YouTube.
Yeah, that's great.
So thank you so much, Michael.
No, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.